Hey, quiet warriors. You woke up today. That alone is a quiet miracle you probably overlooked. The world doesn't pause to remind you how extraordinary that is, so you forget. You forget that your existence is proof of worth. You forget that the most important relationship you'll ever have isn't with the world around you, but it's with the person living inside your skin. The story of your life begins with you, yet for years you've been taught to place yourself last. To shrink. To give until you're hollow. To love everyone else with a compassion you refuse to offer yourself. But today, something changes. Today is the day you turn inward and remember that you're not an afterthought. You're not a background character in your own story. You're the center, the source, the beginning of every ripple that touches your life. Self-love is not a buzzword. It's a foundation. It's the unseen architecture that shapes your peace, your decisions, your confidence, your boundaries, your relationships. Everything rises or falls based on how you treat yourself in private moments no one witnesses. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength starts in the way you speak to yourself. It begins in the moments when you choose kindness without needing a reason. It grows each time you decide you are deserving, not someday, not after you achieve more, but right now. Self-love is not a destination. It's a practice. A daily returning to your own heart. A gentle choosing of yourself even on the days you feel unworthy or lost. Before we go deeper, pause with me. If even a fraction of what you've heard so far touches something inside you, do one thing. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, send this message to someone who needs a reminder today, and make sure you're subscribed. There's a part of you that's been waiting for this shift. Don't miss what comes next. And if your heart said yes, even quietly, type these words. I am worthy of my own love. Now let's begin. Number 1. The mirror of truth. Every morning, you pass by mirrors, some big, some small, some you linger at, some you avoid. But when was the last time you truly saw yourself? Not the skin. Not the flaws you've been conditioned to scan for. Not the comparison between you and whoever your mind insists is doing better. No. I mean you, the presence behind the eyes. The soul that has carried you through years of storms, heartbreaks, healing, trying, failing, surviving, becoming. Self-love begins with honest seeing. It begins when you stop using the world's distorted lenses to measure your worth. You've been handed so many false mirrors, beauty standards, social expectations, comparisons, judgments. They twist your reflection until you believe that you're only enough when you achieve more, look better, or earn someone else's approval. But here is a truth deep enough to crack those illusions. You are whole. Not waiting. Not unfinished. Not lacking. Whole, right here, right now. Epictetus said, "No person is capable of hurting you unless you give them permission." That includes you. Your harsh self-talk has only been possible because you silently allowed it. Today, that permission is revoked. Stand before your reflection with new eyes. Recognize the warrior who survived days that should have broken them. The soul who kept showing up even when hope felt thin. The heart that has given, cared, healed, tried, loved, and risen again and again. Self-love isn't about ignoring your flaws. It's about seeing the full picture. Your mistakes don't erase your strengths. Your past doesn't disqualify your future. Your imperfections don't make you unworthy. You've been magnifying your flaws and shrinking your gifts. You've been judging yourself harsher than you'd ever judge a friend. Today, that stops. Today, you offer yourself the grace you freely give others. The mirror of truth also requires facing what you've been avoiding, the fatigue you've ignored, the relationships draining your spirit, the dreams you buried under fear. Self-love doesn't let you pretend. It gives you courage to look at what hurts and say, I deserve better, and I'm willing to change. Start small. Stand before the mirror and speak 3 real truths about yourself. Not flattery, not empty affirmations, but truth. Tell yourself, I showed up today. I'm learning to take care of myself. I deserve kindness. Marcus Aurelius said, confine yourself to the present. Self-love isn't about who you were or who you wish you'll become. It's about loving who you are right now. Look again. This time, see the truth and know your true worth. Number 2. The garden you tend. Your mind is a garden. Every thought is a seed. Every belief becomes a tree. Every repeated pattern shapes the landscape inside you. And if you stepped into that inner garden today, what would you find? Are there flowers of hope and kindness, or vines of self-criticism choking your joy? Are you nurturing possibilities or feeding fears disguised as facts? Self-love is the practice of becoming an intentional gardener. You can't control every thought that lands in your mind because life throws seeds you never asked for. But you absolutely control what you water. For too long, you've been irrigating the wrong things such as, I'm not good enough, I'm behind everyone else, I'll never change, why bother trying? These are weeds, not truths. And they have flourished only because you unknowingly fed them. Seneca wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Your mind builds entire forests of suffering simply because no one ever taught you how to garden differently. Self-love begins with awareness. You start asking, does this thought help me grow? Is this belief nourishing or poisoning me? Would I water this if I knew it would shape my life? Your garden needs pruning too. Letting go of people who drain you is pruning. Releasing old habits is pruning. Saying no to commitments that suffocate you is pruning. A tree that refuses to drop dead branches collapses under its own weight. You're the same. When you care for your internal landscape, everything external changes. Your peace becomes magnetic. Your groundedness becomes noticeable. People feel the difference. And here's the beautiful part, gardens don't bloom overnight. You won't rewire your mind in a single morning. But every moment of gentleness, every replaced thought, every boundary set is a seed of transformation. Choose one thought to nourish today. Choose one weed to uproot. Your mind is the only garden you'll tend for your whole life. Make it a place you want to live. Number 3. The permission you've been waiting for. All your life, you've been waiting for permission. Permission to rest without guilt. Permission to say no without an apology. Permission to want more, dream bigger, take up space, change direction. Whether you realize it or not, you've been standing on the threshold of your own life waiting for someone else to nod and say, you're allowed. But here's the truth, the only person who can give you that permission is you. Self-love is radical permission. Permission to be human. Permission to change. Permission to want something different than you wanted yesterday. Permission to stop living for other people's approval and start living for your own inner alignment. Marcus Aurelius said, we love ourselves more than others, yet care more about their opinion than our own. And isn't that the truth? A stranger's opinion can shake you more than your own voice. A single disappointment can make you abandon yourself to keep someone else comfortable. But today you reclaim your authority. You are allowed to disappoint others to stay true to yourself. You are allowed to vote for your mental health over someone else's expectations. You are allowed to put yourself first when needed, not in selfishness, but in survival. You don't need to justify your rest. You don't need to apologize for boundaries. You don't need to earn the right to exist peacefully. You don't need to be thinner, richer, calmer, more accomplished, more ready before you choose yourself. Stop waiting for the world. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for someone to understand. Give yourself permission now. Say it out loud if you can. I'm allowed to choose myself. I'm allowed to change. I'm allowed to rest. I'm allowed to start over. Your permission slip is already inside you. Sign it today. Number 4. The voice that shapes your world. There's a voice that travels with you everywhere, the narrator inside your mind. It comments on every decision, every mistake, every glance in the mirror. It has influenced your life more than any relationship, any job, any friend. The question is, would you allow anyone else to speak to you the way you speak to yourself? If someone constantly criticized you, mocked your mistakes, minimized your achievements, pointed out your flaws, you would walk away without hesitation. Yet you allow your own inner voice to do exactly that. Self-love is reclaiming authorship of that voice. It's choosing a narrator that encourages growth rather than crushes your spirit. Epictetus said, "We are disturbed not by events, but by our opinion of them." Your inner voice shapes those opinions. Two people can experience the same setback, but their internal narration determines whether they rise or collapse. Your inner voice doesn't describe your world, it creates it. This is why changing it matters. Not with fake positivity. Not with denial. But with kindness, accuracy, compassion, and truth. When you look in the mirror and hear, "You look terrible," you replace it with, "I'm tired today, that's human. My worth isn't measured by appearance." When you mess up and hear, "You always fail," you counter with, "I made a mistake, but I'm learning and improving." When you face something difficult and hear, "You can't do this," you say, "This is hard, but I've survived harder things." Your inner voice should become your ally, not your attacker. Your mentor, not your bully. Your friend, not your enemy. And every time you choose a kinder response, you literally rewrite the wiring of your mind. The most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Number 5. The boundaries that set you free. There's a tiny word that could save your peace, but you've struggled to say it. The simple word is no. Just 2 letters. Not because you're weak. Not because you're incapable. But because you were conditioned to please, to smooth edges, to accommodate. You learned that your value came from being available, agreeable, dependable, even at the cost of your own well-being. But self-love demands a different truth. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors, doors you choose to open or close to protect your peace. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." You cannot control what people expect of you, but you can absolutely control what you allow into your life. Healthy boundaries sound like, "I can't take that on right now. This conversation is hurting me, I need to step away. I don't owe an explanation for taking care of myself. My rest is important. That doesn't align with my values." Setting boundaries is not an act of cruelty. It's an act of clarity. But the guilt you feel? That guilt is a lie. You only feel guilty because you've been rewarded your whole life for abandoning yourself. People who benefited from your lack of boundaries will call your growth selfish. Let them. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. The people meant for you will adjust. The ones who can't were never aligned with your healing. Start small. Honor your limits. Rest without apology. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Say in the comments like a quiet warrior that your no is a complete sentence. Number 6. The seasons of your becoming. The natural world never apologizes for its timing. Winter doesn't rush into bloom just because someone prefers sunshine. Spring doesn't force its flowers to open before they're ready. Summer doesn't shrink its warmth to please those who dislike heat. Autumn doesn't cling to its leaves out of fear of the cold that follows. Nature honors its rhythm with quiet confidence, and somehow, you forgot that you're part of nature too. You forgot that you're allowed to have seasons of your own. Self-love means recognizing the season you're in without judgment. Maybe right now you're in a winter season. A season of slowing down, retreating inward, conserving energy. You don't feel like producing or performing. You don't feel like shining. You're simply trying to breathe, to rest, to stay afloat. And the world tells you that you're falling behind, that you should be blooming while you're barely surviving. But winter is not a mistake. Winter is where roots grow deeper than eyes can see. Winter is where inner repair happens. Winter is where you heal silently so that one day you can rise fully. Or maybe you're in spring. You're stepping out of an old chapter. You feel fragile, hopeful, uncertain. You're trying new things, opening yourself again, taking small steps toward life after being in the dark for too long. You're vulnerable, and that's okay. Spring is tender. Spring is new. Spring doesn't demand perfection, it just asks for patience. But you compare your spring to someone else's summer, and you wonder why you're not blooming as fully as they are. You forget that every flower opens at its own pace. Maybe you're in summer. You finally feel alive again. You're glowing, growing, moving forward, expressing your gifts boldly. This is your season of warmth and visibility. But you've learned to dim yourself to make others comfortable. You've learned to shrink your joy because someone else may envy it. Not this time. Summer is meant to shine. Or maybe you're in autumn, a season of release. Things are falling away, friendships, habits, careers, versions of yourself you've outgrown. It feels like loss. It feels like endings. But autumn is not a punishment, it's preparation. Something inside you knows that what is falling off was never meant to stay forever. You're clearing space for what's next. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything is only for a day, both the remembered and the one remembering." Nothing stays the same. Not your joy, not your pain, not your identity, not your season. Everything is temporary, shifting, evolving. And you create unnecessary suffering when you fight the season you're in rather than honoring it. You get frustrated in winter because you want productivity. You rush spring because you want results. You hide in summer because you fear judgment. You resist autumn because you fear letting go. But life becomes lighter when you allow yourself to be exactly where you are. Self-love asks one simple question. What does this season require from me? If it's winter, you need rest. You need gentleness. You need permission to pause without calling yourself lazy. If it's spring, you need patience. You need encouragement. You need room to experiment without expecting perfection. If it's summer, you need to embrace your light. You need to show up boldly. You need to stop apologizing for your joy. If it's autumn, you need courage. You need trust. You need to release what's ending, even when it hurts. And here's another truth, you can be in multiple seasons at once. You might be blooming in your career and grieving in your relationships. You might feel renewed spiritually but exhausted emotionally. You might be shedding old beliefs while starting new habits. You're layered, complex, human. Your season is multidimensional. The key is to stop comparing. Comparison blinds you to the beauty of your own timing. The tree does not envy the ocean. The sunset does not resent the moon. The mountain does not compare itself to the river. Why do you compare your life to someone else's timeline when your soul has its own rhythm? Ask yourself right now. What season am I truly in? Not the season you wish you were in. Not the season society says you should be in. The season your heart is actually experiencing. Whatever it is, honor it. Trust it. Let it teach you. When it's time to shift, your soul will know. Seasons don't ask for permission, they simply arrive when the time is right. Affirm it, I trust my season. Number 7. The wounds that made you wiser. You carry wounds that no one sees. Heartbreaks that never fully healed. Words that scarred deeper than any knife. Memories that resurface when the night is quiet and your mind can't distract itself. Pain from moments you didn't deserve. Hurt from people you wished had loved you better. You've endured storms that changed you in ways you still can't articulate. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that your wounds were proof that you were broken. That your pain made you less worthy, less lovable, less whole. But you're seeing it wrong. Self-love is rewriting that story. Your wounds are not blemishes, they're evidence of survival. Your scars are not weaknesses, they're symbols of wisdom. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Your mind has replayed past pain so many times that the emotional bruises feel fresh, even when the moment itself is long gone. You injure yourself again each time you revisit what hurt you. Self-love doesn't mean pretending the pain never happened. It means refusing to let it define your identity. Yes, people failed you. Yes, someone broke your heart. Yes, circumstances wounded you. But you choosing to punish yourself for what others did, that's where the deeper wound lies. Your pain shaped you, but it does not own you. It taught you discernment. It taught you boundaries. It taught you self-awareness. It taught you resilience. It taught you depth. Your wounds made you compassionate. You can understand someone else's suffering without them having to explain. You can stand beside a person who's hurting without needing to fix them. You can sense pain in others because you've met it within yourself. Every scar you carry is a chapter of wisdom. But here's the challenge, you have to stop reopening your wounds. Stop using them as justification to accept less than you deserve. Stop using them as reasons to sabotage your own healing. Stop telling yourself that your pain means you're destined for more pain. Your story is not, "I was hurt, so I'll always be hurt." Your story is, "I was hurt, and I am still worthy of love." You are not your trauma. You are not your abandonment. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your mistakes. You are not the worst moment of your life. You are the person who survived. You are the person who kept going. You are the person who chose healing. You are the person who continues to rise even when you don't feel strong. Give yourself the tenderness your wounds deserve. Stop judging yourself for not healing fast enough. Stop forcing yourself to get over it before you're ready. Healing isn't a straight path, it loops, spirals, pauses, dips, and rises. Some days you'll feel fully restored. Other days old pain will echo again. Both days deserve compassion, not shame. The scars you carry are sacred. They are not proof of weakness. They are proof of depth, proof that you've lived, felt, experienced, and grown. One day, your wounds will become the very wisdom someone else needs to hear. One day, your story will be someone's lifeline. One day, your survival will be the evidence someone needs to believe healing is possible. You are not defined by what hurt you. You are defined by how you rise from it. Say it, I turned pain into power. Number 8. The person you're still becoming. Somewhere along the journey, you started treating yourself like a finished product. Like you should already be everything you've ever dreamed of becoming. Like growth has a deadline. Like life is a race you're losing because you're not where you thought you'd be by now. But here's the truth. You're not finished. You're becoming. And becoming isn't supposed to be neat or perfect or predictable. You are a work in progress, beautifully incomplete. And that's exactly how it should be. Think back 5 years. You're not that person anymore. You've outgrown beliefs, habits, relationships, and patterns that no longer fit you. You've learned things you couldn't have understood back then. You've survived hardships that reshaped your heart. You've discovered parts of yourself you didn't know existed. And 5 years from now, you'll evolve again. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." Every challenge you face is shaping you. Every mistake is refining you. Every setback is redirecting you. Every new experience is molding you. The problem isn't your growth. The problem is your expectation that you should already be done. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to start over. You're allowed to learn late. You're allowed to want something new. You're allowed to be a beginner at any age. You are not late. You are not behind. You're simply becoming at the pace your soul requires. You don't criticize a seed for not being a tree yet. You don't shame a butterfly for being in a cocoon. You don't yell at the sun for setting too slowly. So why do you attack yourself for being in transition? Self-love is giving yourself permission to grow at your own speed. It's choosing environments that nourish your evolution. It's protecting your energy from people who want to keep you small because they fear your expansion. It's celebrating every small step, every shift, every insight. Your becoming is sacred. It is not rushed. It cannot be forced. And it will never be complete. Because the beauty of being human is that there is always more to learn, more to experience, more to uncover. You get to reinvent yourself again and again and again. Love yourself now, not once you become better. You become better because you love yourself now. Say it, I'm evolving, not failing. Number 9. The love that starts with you. You've spent years searching for a love that finally makes you feel whole. You looked for it in other people's approval, in their affection, in their attention. You waited for someone else's validation to convince you that you were worthy. But the love you've been chasing has always lived inside you. You've just been too disconnected to feel it. Self-love is the foundation of every other love you experience. Without it, you cling instead of connect. You seek reassurance instead of intimacy. You give until you're drained instead of giving from overflow. You expect others to fill the voids you refuse to fill yourself. When you love yourself, everything changes. You stop needing constant validation. You stop tolerating mistreatment. You stop shrinking your worth to keep relationships alive. You stop negotiating your value in exchange for scraps of affection. You stop explaining why you deserve the same love you offer so easily. Marcus Aurelius said, "What you do now echoes in eternity." Every act of self-love is an echo, one that creates ripple after ripple in your life. Loving yourself impacts every relationship you touch. It teaches others how to treat you. It filters out those who can't meet you with respect. It magnetizes people who appreciate your heart. It elevates the standard of what you accept. Self-love means showing up for yourself. It means keeping promises you make to your own soul. It means prioritizing your needs without apology. It means resting without guilt. It means nourishing your body, not punishing it. It means forgiving yourself for yesterday. It means trusting yourself with tomorrow. It means being your own anchor, your own comfort, your own safe space. And when you fill yourself with love, something incredible happens. You naturally have more love to give. Real love. Healthy love. Love that doesn't drain you. Love that expands you. Love that flows freely because it isn't coming from emptiness. Today, choose to be the love you've been waiting for. Choose to be the one who whispers encouragement when your confidence wavers. Choose to be the one who holds your heart when it hurts. Choose to be the one who reminds you of your worth when you forget it. Choose to be your own home. Say it, I am my own home. You made it. You stayed through every truth, every reflection, every shift. That alone is an act of self-love. You chose to be here. You chose to listen. You chose to consider that maybe, just maybe, you are worthy of all the love you've given away. Self-love isn't a final destination. It's a daily practice. Some days it will feel natural. Other days it will feel impossible. When those hard days come, return to this message. Let these words remind you that you matter. You are worthy because you exist. You are enough because you are here. You deserve love because you are alive. Now do one more thing for me before you go. Like this video. Comment your favorite truth. Share this message with someone who needs it. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a single reminder. And type this into the comments so your heart remembers. I choose self-love every single day. This is Stoic Quiet Strength, Power in Silence.